And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Sports Wrap. I'm your host, Mark Johnson. Again, we got another empty chair here. You can't see it from where we're sitting here, but there is an empty chair here, trust me. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. More bad news for you Buffalo Bills fans. Most of you are probably not even watching me right now. You're probably focused on the Super Bowl. Unless, of course, you figured the game's over. Let's turn it to Sports Wrap and watch Mark make a fool of himself for a half an hour. And, again, woe be gone, Buffalo Bills. It looked like they had everything in control. Everything was going their way. They were up 13-6 at halftime. All of a sudden, they fall apart in the third quarter. And at last report, it was Dallas 30 and Buffalo 13. I believe that's probably still the score. Looks like the Bills are going to lose their fourth straight Super Bowl, their second straight to Dallas, and I believe they lost one to, who was it? The New York Giants. They lost one to the Giants, and I want to say one to the 49ers, but I don't know if that's correct, or the Redskins or somebody. I don't know. Somebody knows who that fourth loss was to in the Super Bowl. Call in, let us know. So the Super Bowl champs for the second straight year, the Dallas Cowboys. I said last week, and I quote, "I want Buffalo to win, but my heart says that that Dallas will win the Super Bowl." And, of course, I was right. Even though I wanted Buffalo to win, I knew Dallas was probably going to do it. For you big sports fans, after Sports Wrap is over, about 7:30 tonight, turn your dial back to Channel 8 and watch the Portland Trailblazers take on the New York Knicks. I mean, hey, you couldn't ask for much more. Super Bowl Sunday, you get the Super Bowl. Boom. An hour later, there's the Portland Trailblazers. Should be a good game tonight. I predict a win for the Portland Trailblazers. They've been playing pretty decent lately. And I think if they can get it going early and hang in there, I think they can probably win this game against the Knicks tonight. We are entertaining some phone calls tonight, 397-5886, if you want to call and talk about the Super Bowl and how it went today. Did it go the way you thought it was going to go? Call in and let us know. 397-5886 is the number to call for that. If you were rooting for Buffalo, obviously some disappointment there. If you were rooting for Dallas, hey, everything went your way today. Dallas didn't look real good in the first half, but they came back strong at the start of the second half and pretty much took control. Emmitt Smith, a monster game today. Very good game for him, rushing-wise. And Troy Aikman, even though I think he did throw an interception, although he did that, he still had a monster game as well. So, do we have a phone call, Todd? Okay. Anyway, aside from the Super Bowl, the Tonya Harding case is still going on. It's still under investigation. As of this point, she is still a member of the U.S. Olympic figure skating team. Until actual charges have been filed against her and a strong case has been put up against her, no arrest will be made. And I really don't think they're going to. They say they've got some evidence. I really don't think it's going to be enough evidence to convict her. A lot of the evidence they've got clearly stems from unreliable sources, namely Jeff Gillooly and Sean Eckhart. I mean, those two guys alone, I wouldn't trust as far as I could throw them, and I just think the credibility of the people that are making the allegations against her leaves a lot to be desired. And I really don't think that if the police are going on their testimony, then they don't have much of a case. So, personally, I think she's innocent, and I think she should be allowed to skate. in the Olympics, and if she wins the gold, as far as I'm concerned, she is due all the accolades that come with that, including the endorsements that go along with being a gold medal winner. Everything that goes along with winning a gold medal in the Olympics. She is entitled to that if she wins the gold. I believe that her performance at the U.S. Nationals was good enough that I believe that she could have won the U.S. Nationals without, someone beating up Nancy Kerrigan. I think if Kerrigan had skated, I don't believe she could have beat Tonya Harding. Tonya's confidence level was up so high that I just feel that she was skating good enough that she could have won whether or not Kerrigan was in there or not. And she's been practicing for her entire life for this one moment, for a chance at a gold medal, and she knows that this is probably her last chance at a gold medal. So maybe that was motive enough to maybe plan this assault on Nancy Kerrigan. I don't think so, though. I don't think she would jeopardize a chance to go to the Olympics and win a gold medal by doing something as stupid as that. I really don't. I think she's got more brains in her head than that. Her ex-husband, on the other hand, I don't think has the brains of a goldfish. And neither does Sean Eckhart, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't like the credibility. You can't go by the credibility of guys like Eckhart and Gillooly. Yeah, some calls were made from Tonya Harding's home, but nobody knows who made those calls. It could have been Jeff Gillooly. He had access. I'm sure Sean Eckhart had access. If he was her bodyguard, he would be allowed inside the home, I'm sure. Gillooly could have allowed him to use that phone. And there's a lot of possibilities out there. My feeling is she's not stupid enough to jeopardize her career by doing something like that. I read an interesting quote in the Oregonian the other day that said, concerning the Nancy Kerrigan assault, that said, why don't we just let Nancy Kerrigan take a whack at Tonya Harding's knee and call it even? Case closed. One good turn deserves another. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, right? Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. But I heard a phone ring. Hey, Todd, do we have a phone call up there?
No, we don't.
That figures. We have a final score on the Super Bowl yet?
Hold on.
Okay. Well, while we're waiting for that, girls basketball action this last Friday night. Channel 9 was at Scappoose for the Saint Helens Scappoose matchup, and Saint Helens coming up short in that game. Jeff Edwards' team put up a very valiant effort from the second quarter on, and actually had their chances to really come back and win that game. But the fact that St. Helens got behind early really didn't help them much. They were down at one point in the first quarter, 18-0. By the end of the first quarter, it was 20-4, and it was really an uphill battle that they just couldn't overcome. They did put up, like I said, they put up a very good effort. They should be commended for that. I believe the final was, I want to say like 53. No, it wasn't that high. 45-35 maybe, something like that. No, it was higher than that. I don't know. That game will be on Channel 9 later on this week. Be watching for that. Hey, Todd, sounds like we have somebody at the door.
Yeah?
You want to check it out?
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay. Anyway, while he's doing that, again, latest score we got on the Super Bowl, 30-13, Dallas leading, and I believe it's probably over now. I would think so, unless they've called timeout after timeout after timeout, in which case it's probably still going on. Usually a football game takes, I don't know, a long time to play, especially if you have someone calling in. Anyway, I'm trying to concentrate on more than one thing here, especially if you have a lot of timeouts. It could take 20 minutes to play 9 minutes of a football game, so you know, it's just a matter of what happens during the course of the game.
Number and a message.
Anyway, there is a possibility of a phone call here.
Mark?
Yes.
Zeb is outside the building.
Zeb is outside the building. Okay.
This is not good.
This is not good, seeing as how I got the keys in my pocket.
I could get the keys from you and let him in.
Yeah, if you want to do that real quick, we'll let Zeb on here, and I'll see if I can find us a microphone. And we'll get him mic'd up here.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. Be advised, folks, there's only one guy running the whole operation behind the scenes tonight, and that's Mr. Todd Hilton, the host of Airplay. He's the main man. Say hello to the nice folks, Todd. Hey. And we got a phone ringing. We're losing our minds here, folks. Todd is doing it all. I tell you what, I really appreciate Todd, because Todd does so much for me every week on this show, and it's just amazing the things that he does. I mean, he can...
Hey, Mark?
Yes, sir.
We have a phone call.
We have a phone call, and we've got Zeb waiting outside. Go ahead, caller.
I was wondering what you thought to me the crucial factor was the Buffalo loss.
Probably that early third quarter fumble by Thurman Thomas that Dallas scored the touchdown on. I mean, that was
probably that 40-yard run.
Yeah, that was the turning point right there. I mean, everything was going really good for Buffalo until that happened. That just tied up the game. You know, that just tied the game at 13. But Emmitt Smith came through when he had to, and gave Dallas that spark, put them over the top, and next thing you know, it's 20-13, and it's 27-13. Now it's 30-13. So
yeah, I kind of think that in order for Buffalo to win, that Thurman Thomas pretty much has to have one of those days. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that was the key. Thurman Thomas had to be on tonight, and when he fumbled not once but twice in the game, you pretty much knew that it was history if they kept using him. And
I think that's kind of funny. They always lose because of turnovers.
Yeah.
That's always the.
Well, they showed an interesting statistic at the beginning of the game. Buffalo was like the #1 team in turnovers in Super Bowls or something. I don't know. It was like they had 9, or the most turnovers in a game in a Super Bowl was set by Buffalo, and I think it was probably last year's Super Bowl where they turned it over 9 times. So I mean, they're pretty much known for that. But and it's sad, because I would love to have seen Buffalo avenge that loss from a year ago and just completely whipped them. I really would have loved to have seen it, but like I said last week, I said I would love to see Buffalo win, but I just figured that it was going to go to Dallas, you know.
Yeah, me too.
Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, those 3 right there. Leon Lett, he avenged himself, his boo-boo from last year's Super Bowl, and
I think he's kind of an imbecile.
made the right play when he had to that set up a touchdown. So, you know, it's just, you know, like I say, I would have loved to have seen Buffalo win, but it just didn't happen. You know, that's 4 straight that they've lost. They lost 2 to Dallas, 1 to the New York Giants. Who was the 4th one to?
Redskins.
The Redskins? That's what I kind of thought. That sounded right. It was either that or the 49ers, but Anyway.
But do you think Buffalo has a chance next year?
Oh, Buffalo's always going to have a chance. I mean, the thing is, physically they've got a very good team. You know, physically they're one of the better teams in the league. But mentally, when you've been to the Super Bowl 4 straight times and you've come up with nothing,
Then you're pretty much a loser.
well, no, you're not a loser, but it weighs really heavy on your mind that, hey, you know, what's it going to take for us to win? I mean, we've got the physical team here that can win it all. But, you know, now we've just got to, you know, Ahmad Rashad said, well, they have to think about the last 3 losses. I felt just the opposite. You know, you put those 3 behind you and focus on this one. He felt you had to. Ahmad Rashad was saying, well, you know, everybody's saying that you got to just put these behind you, and he says you can't. He says you got to think about them. I said, why? You know, why do you have to think about them? You don't have to. You can say, hey, that's a part of our past. You know, this is this year's team. We can take it all the way. We can win this game. And just go out there with the most positive attitude you can and say, hey, you know, we can beat these guys, you know, and don't worry about what's happened in the past. You know,
Yeah,
just
I
focus on today, and, you know, you're better off doing that. Anyway, we got Zeb. Zeb is in the building. Come on in. Come on in, Zeb. Pull up a microphone and a chair. Sit down. Oh, look at that. Just perfect.
So how you doing, Mark?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Zeb?
Great.
So what did you think about the Super Bowl? It turned out the way you thought it was going to?
Well, I was in Portland for the first part. And I saw the Buffalo when they were ahead, and, you know, I was thinking that they're going to go for it, you know, when I got home.
It's a little different story when you get home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really rooted for him. I really wanted Buffalo to win this one,
Me too.
but it just didn't happen that way. So we got the phone ringing off the hook tonight. We only got one guy working the booth. I feel sorry for Todd, really, you know, kind of, because he's doing a lot of work up there.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.
We have a call for Zeb.
Oh, all right. Cool. Go ahead and put him on.
Zeb?
Yeah.
Why aren't you there last week?
Well, I had a lot of homework, get ready for midterms, so just didn't come down.
Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl next year?
That's a tough call.
I don't know.
Tough call. I mean, anybody could win it next year.
Yeah. It's wait till middle of next season, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
I can't really predict.
I mean, you can do that with some sports, but football is one of those sports that you really have to take week by week, and you have to say, okay, well, who's injured for who, you know, on which team this week, and, you know, is that going to be a factor in this game? And you really can't predict much until you get down into the playoffs, and all the playoff teams are set at the beginning of the playoffs. And say, okay, well, you know, this team's got a couple injuries here. Well, this team's playing really well here. You know, they could go. You know, football's one of those strange sports that you can't predict a year ahead of time. If I were going to predict anybody, I would probably have to say that if Dallas plays the way they've been playing, you know, if they play the way they're playing now, a year from now, they've got probably the best shot at anybody to win it again next year.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go.
All right, thanks for calling. Hey, we have a second crew member, Lance Taylor.
I brought my whole staff.
Oh,
Hey, Mark.
yes.
We have the current score.
Yes, sir.
It is the same as it was just a minute ago.
Is it a final score now?
It said final.
Okay, that's the final score, 30-13. Dallas wins. Just like I said Dallas was going to win even though I wanted Buffalo. I just felt in my heart that Dallas was the team to win it. So, good to see Lance Taylor and his family here, even though a couple minutes late, but you know.
You never told us not to be here.
Well, I thought you
First
said
of all.
you weren't going to be here this weekend.
No, next weekend.
Oh, it's next weekend. I'm sorry, I was confused. I thought it was this week.
Natural state.
Yeah. I'm in a confused state most of the time. So, yeah, it was a misunderstanding. I'm sorry. I would have called, but you know, I was, you know, down there at the church watching the football game on the 12:9 big screen.
How was that?
Oh, that was killer. That was really killer. We had a nice little projection TV and projected it up on a 12 by 9 screen. And actually, the picture was amazingly clear for a projection.
Really?
For a projection TV, it was really clear. He turned out all the lights, and it's a rather nice picture. And for those of you who, I mean, it was well advertised around here that the First Christian Church was going to have that. And in fact, there was an article in the Chronicle, and it was open to anybody. It wasn't just members of the Christian Church. It was open to the public. You missed a good one, folks. That was a good game on a big screen.
They have a lot of food there and stuff.
So they had quite a bit, yeah. It was good snacks. I had my fill at least twice. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And a lot of people could have fit a lot more people in there.
Yeah.
Losing my voice here. So what do you think, what's going to happen with Tanya Harding now? Think they're going to convict her?
No, I think she's going to go straight to the Olympics. I mean, I think she's going to put up with a lot of stuff. A lot of people nagging on her and stuff about that she's guilty. But I think she's going to be able to go to the Olympics. And I think she has a pretty good chance at the gold. So.
I think so. I think, and I was saying earlier before you showed up that I felt that if she does win, if she is allowed to skate and she does win the gold, that I believe that, I mean, obviously Nancy Kerrigan's going to be there too. If she can beat Kerrigan for the gold in Lillehammer, then that'll prove once and for all that she could have beaten her easily. Well, not easily, but she could have beaten her in Detroit at the U.S. Nationals. So either way you look at it, I don't think she had anything to do with it personally. I think she has admitted to having knowledge of it after it happened. She has said that she had no prior knowledge of it, but she was notified after that some people close to her may have been involved, and eventually was found out that it was Gillooly and Eckhart and guys like that. So I just, I don't think she was stupid enough to help plan something like that when she was skating at her best.
Yeah.
I mean, she was skating probably better than she ever has,
Yeah.
and I really don't see the logic if you're skating the best you've ever skated in your career. I don't see the logic of taking out your competition with the club.
Yeah.
And when you're capable of beating your competition without it, without having to beat up your competition, you can beat your competition without beating them up. And I just think it's sad that she's being implicated by Gillooly and Eckhart. Has anybody even looked into the fact that maybe, just maybe, now this is a long shot, but this is a theory of mine, that maybe Nancy Kerrigan set the whole thing up so that she could implicate Tanya Harding to keep her out of the Olympics so that she could win the gold? Did anybody ever give that any thought? I mean, the hit on her knee was not that serious. It wasn't that bad of an injury because it didn't break anything. All it did was bruise her. She could have put up a heck of an acting job if somebody had just come up and tapped her on the knee. Nobody actually saw it happen.
Yeah.
How do we know? How do we know that Nancy Kerrigan wasn't in on the plot herself to have somebody hit her, make it look like Gillooly and Eckhart and all these guys? Maybe she hired Gillooly and Eckhart to do it for her, just so she could get Tanya Harding out of it. I mean, we know that Gillooly I'm sure he was very upset when Tanya Harding filed for divorce last August. Maybe that was a way of revenge. Maybe he said, okay, maybe Kerrigan said, I want a good shot at the gold, and if it takes everything in my power to get Tanya Harding taken off the Olympic team for me to get it, because I know she's capable of beating me, then why don't I have somebody fake an attack on me so that I don't have to skate, but I'm still on the team, and implicate Tanya Harding, get her kicked off the Olympic team. I come back looking like a heroine. That's not the drug, that's a female hero. And win the gold in Lillehammer, and I'm Little Miss Goody Two Shoes, and Tanya Harding's the bad girl. How do we know that didn't happen? I mean, that's also a theory. I'm told we have a phone call. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Hello, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, do you like fags, Mark?
Thank you, next caller. I will not be entertaining any of those kind of calls. I will only be entertaining sports calls, and if you don't have a sports question or comment, don't bother to call because we will not put you on the air. So,
I think that is a possibility that she might have done that.
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever looked into that, but they say that Harding has called and tried to find out Kerrigan's schedule and all this stuff.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I think they just need to dump the whole thing away and just ignore it.
I'm told we have another phone call. Let's hope this is a sports-related call. Go ahead, caller.
I was wanting to know about Zeb if he could tell me what the turning point of the game was.
Could you repeat that question?
I want to know what the turning point of the game was. You thought was the turning point of the game.
Well, I really didn't see the whole game, so I don't really know. Mark might know because he watched it. So.
My feeling was when Thurman Thomas fumbled in the early in the third quarter, when Buffalo they were driving pretty good, and Thomas fumbled it. It was recovered by Dallas, taken in for a 40-yard score. Mentally, that was the turning point. That was probably the killer for Buffalo. That let Dallas back into the game and ultimately gave them the victory. I mean, they pretty much had Thurman Thomas not fumbled twice. I'm not putting the whole blame on Thurman Thomas because it's a team thing, but Buffalo's defense, actually their offensive line in protecting Jim Kelly the whole game until about the third quarter, was absolutely wonderful. I mean, nobody even touched Kelly the whole first half. And then the breakdown on the offensive line on the pass protection in the second half, they just let up. It was like they just gave up. Even though Dallas's defense, is one of the best defenses in the league, Buffalo has proven time and time again that their offensive line is one of the better ones in the league as well. So it was a good game. It was a lot better game than last year's game, I thought. I mean, it was a lot closer. I think it was closer than the score indicated, I think. But I felt that second fumble by Thurman Thomas was what really did him in. And until Buffalo wins the Super Bowl and gets this monkey off their shoulder, then that's all that Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly are going to be remembered for is their 4 Super Bowl losses. So they're going to have to win a Super Bowl to get that monkey off their shoulders. But who knows? Maybe next year will be their year. We'll see if they can make it to the Super Bowl 5 years in a row.
Hopefully.
It'd be nice to see. So.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks for calling. Anyway, I think we're probably going to cut this thing short tonight at a half an hour. Unless there's going to be any more calls. If another call comes in, we'll entertain that. But I think we're going to cut it short at a half hour tonight. I've got some things I'd like to be able to do tonight. And Blazer game's coming on in a half an hour. I plan on watching that on the big screen down at the church. They're going to have they're going to have the big screen TV. They've got the big screen TV rented until I guess tomorrow. So we have a phone call for Zeb.
Go ahead, call.
Zeb, what's your favorite pro hockey team?
Favorite pro hockey team?
I don't really keep up with hockey that much, but I don't know why. I really don't keep up with hockey.
Mark?
I'm with Zeb. I don't really keep up with hockey. The only hockey I keep up with is like Western Hockey League, and I like the Portland Winterhawks. But if I had to pick a favorite, I'd probably have to go with the LA Kings because I like Gretzky.
Mark, have you ever played any sports?
Have I ever? Well, Uh, when I was in high school, I never really played any varsity sports. I was never really good enough to make the varsity squads. So I really never played any organized sports until after high school. I started playing some City League basketball, and I have played on one City League basketball championship team in my 5 or 6 years of playing. So yeah, I have. And in fact, like I said last week, I will be playing against the Blazer alumni team on the night. No, I will not be having a taxi taking me up and down the court, as one caller called and asked last week. I am in fine shape. I will not be needing a taxi. Although Thursday night, I did go up to Rainier. I played 2.5 hours solid basketball in a row without a break. I was hurting the next day. I will admit that. I was hurting the next day, but I don't see myself having to play 2.5 hours against the Blazers straight without a break. So I think if I play, sparingly, small minutes here and there, and get some good playing time against the Blazers, I should do all right.
When is this going to take place?
February 9th, Wednesday, February 9th, Saint Helens High School, 7:30 p.m. Be there, because that's going to be a rocking game. It's going to be.
What is it supposed to be like?
It's a fundraiser for the St. Helens Boosters, sports boosters,
yeah.
And the boosters have brought the Blazer alumni team to St. Helens before.
Yeah.
Most recently in the mid to late 80s. I think around 88, I think was the last time they were here.
Yeah.
86 or 88. Should be a good game. I'm really looking forward to playing it. This is my first time playing against them. Hopefully not my last time. I'd like to play against them again. But yeah, I've played some organized sports, but that's about the extent of it. I really never. I would have loved to have played sports when I was in high school. I did do some track and field when I was in junior high and high school. So I did. I played a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked.
Okay, I gotta go.
All right, thanks for calling. But yeah, the only problem with when I was in high school was, well, two problems actually when I was in high school of playing sports. One was most of the guys that were on the teams. Now I'm not taking anything away from them talent-wise, but some of their fathers were prominent figures in the school district, and I'm sure that had to be a partial factor in them getting on the team.
Politics.
Politics has a lot to do with it, especially in a small town. Politics plays a big part in local sports.
Big part.
And even today, it's still the same. And the other reason was I wasn't in the great physical shape that I am now. And that's a big joke. I'm not in great physical shape now, nor was I then. And I just wasn't good enough to make the team then. So those two factors coupled together spelled doom for me as far as organized sports in high school. I'm told we have another phone call. Go ahead, caller.
I was wanting to know what you thought about the Blazer game tonight. That you've been hearing the Knicks talking about some controversy over Patrick Ewing playing too much, all the balls going to him, all him going for the points, What you thought, what would go on tonight?
I think if the Knicks try to do that, I don't think they're going to win. I mean, if you take a look at what transpired when Jordan was in Chicago, when they fed him the ball all the time, yeah, they'd win some games, but if they keep dumping it to Patrick and relying on him solely for all the points, then it's not a team sport anymore. It's a one-man sport. And basketball is a team sport, and they're going to have to divide up the points a little more equally and not rely on Patrick Ewing quite as much. If they do, then they're not going to win as many games, even though they're a very good team. I'm not taking anything away from the Knicks or Patrick Ewing, but it's a team sport, and if you rely too much on one guy, you're just not going to get it done every night. You're just going to burn that one player out, and when the time comes when you really need that player in the playoffs, he's going to be too tired, because he's been the main man for the team all year, and he's just going to be burned out. And I think if they try to do that tonight, I won't say Portland's going to have an easy time with the Knicks, but they should be able to beat them. I mean, if they can double team Ewing, force them to force him to give up the ball a little bit more and not score. Either that or let him have his points. Because I mean that's about all you can do with Patrick Ewing. Let him, he's going to score. Let him have his points. Concentrate on the rest of the team. And they should be able to win. I think Portland will win this game tonight.
Yeah, so do I.
So, the way Cliff Robinson's been playing lately, he's been a monster.
He's ripping it up.
He's ripping it up. Buck Williams has been ripping it up lately.
Yeah, he played his 1000th game the other night.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Rod Strickland's been heating it up. James Robinson, Tracy Murray, Drexler has been doing well. In the last few games, he's done all right. Porter's coming off the bench now. They've got Porter coming off the bench. That's a big spark. They've got Porter and Kersey coming off the bench now.
How do you feel about Tracy Murray, him shooting the three-pointers and stuff? He's not getting to play a lot.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, Rick Adelman is known for only using about 8 players a game, and he's going to go with the guys. You go with the guys that brought you to the dance, I guess.
Yeah.
And if that's the guys that are doing it, and if Tracy Murray's, he might play a few minutes, and if it, a few minutes. I mean, I realize a few minutes isn't enough to get warmed up. I mean, I know that from personal experience, but give him 6 or 7 good minutes in there, and see what he can do. And if he's lighting it up, leave him in there. It's not going to hurt. If he starts going cold, then pull him. But I'd like to see him play him more. I really would. I think Murray's a good player. He's proven he's a good player. He's proven he can hit the threes when they need him. But if they don't, if they're not in need of threes, and he's a three-point specialist, I mean, I know he can do more than that, but James Robinson, in my opinion, James Robinson does a little bit more than what Tracy Murray has done. I mean, he's more of an all-around player as far as he moves around the court a lot better, I think, than Murray does. He makes things happen a little bit better than Murray does. Murray's fine if he's standing out at the three-point line, he gets open and they dish it to him. He's fine, but James Hollywood Robinson can mix it up anywhere on the court.
Robinson's coming good off the bench. He's doing awesome too.
Yeah, and I think Adelman realizes that. I think he realizes that, hey, if he needs a quick three in an emergency situation, he can probably call on Tracy Murray to get the job done, or Terry Porter.
Yeah. Terry's a veteran, though.
Yeah, Terry's a veteran. He's going to get the call 9 times out of 10, unless he's having a bad night and Tracy Murray's hit a couple. Then Tracy will probably get the nod. Like I say, you go with the guys that are hot, and if Murray's hot and Porter's not, then Murray most likely is going to get the shot at it. But I just think James Robinson is playing a little bit better, and even though he's a rookie and Murray's more of a veteran than James Robinson is, I think that James Robinson can mix it up a little bit better than Murray can, and he's proven it. So.
I got a question for Zeb.
Go ahead.
How do you think James Robinson will do in the slam dunk contest?
I think he's going to do fairly well.
Fairly well?
Yeah.
Like, how's fairly well?
Like, what do you mean? Like
what place do you
what
think
place?
he'll win? Yeah.
Who's all going?
We got Sean Kemp. I think Kemp's probably going to be your main man.
Yeah.
Minor.
Kemp, Minor, James Robinson. Those will probably be your top 3. I don't know where James Robinson will fit in there. He might do as well as second.
Yeah, I was just going to say
But
he
I
might
think
come in second. That's what I was thinking.
Kemp's probably going to take it, though.
Kemp will take first, for sure.
Yeah. But that's our feeling on it, I guess.
What about Danny Manning? I've heard rumors he might be coming to Portland.
Actually, I haven't heard anything about
Heard anything about that? I just watched that on NBA Showtime this morning.
On what now?
Showtime, NBA Showtime,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's a possibility. Anything's possible.
It was in the Oregonian too today.
Yeah, his dad Ed was one of the first Trailblazers. He played for the early Trailblazers, so Danny's he's no stranger to Portland, that's for sure. He grew up a few years in the Portland area when his dad was playing for the Blazers, and I'm sure he spent quite a bit of time around the Memorial Coliseum as a kid. So like I say, he's no stranger to Portland. I would like to see it. I think Danny Manning's a good player, but he's just, right now with the Clippers, he's just not with a team that can do him any justice. You know, he's a very good player. But, you know, when you're playing for a team that's really a lackluster team, if you take somebody that's off of a lackluster team and put him on a championship caliber team like Portland, he's probably going to do a lot better. So, yeah, that's probably a possibility. I don't know who they'd have to get rid of to get him. You know, possibly Jerome Kersey.
I'd hate to see Jerome go.
I would too, but you know, you got to look at all the possibilities. You got to look at the future. You know, where you want the team to go. Manning is a younger player than Kersey, I do believe. You got to look at youth. You got to look towards the future. Kersey's good. I'm not taking anything away from Jerome, but
Mr. Hustle right there, baby.
you know, you just got to figure, you know, with the injuries he's sustained in the last couple of years, he's not the same person. You know, he doesn't have the same explosiveness as he had, you know, a couple of years ago. And I think the same is true with Clyde, although I would like to see them keep Clyde, let him play out his career at Portland, let him finish here. I mean, it's not going to harm you any. I don't know. Kersey and Porter are probably the two most likely candidates for trade right now. And Dudley. I don't know why they even picked up Dudley. They could have had AC Green and been doing a lot better right now, and drafted a center that could have done better than Dudley. I don't know. There's a lot of you know, what ifs, and well, what could happen if we did this, you know, with the Blazer organization. I'm sure Petrie and the rest of the scouting staff, they're looking into all the possibilities before they make any trades. They don't want to go making the wrong move either, you know. And you know, maybe it would be wrong to trade Jerome or Terry right now. But you've also got to look at, okay, if we do trade them, what are we going to get for them? Are we going to get somebody that's young but yet experienced, like Manning? He's young, but he does have the experience. He is a veteran, but he is young. Or are we going to get somebody like Dudley, who's just going to be injured all the time, another Sam Bowie, if you will, or another Bill Walton? You know, they're going to have to look at all the angles, you know, and they're going to have to look at what's best for the team. And if that means giving up a couple of veterans to get some youth and some experience, then that's probably what the Blazer organization will end up doing, you know, much to the dismay of a lot of fans. So, I don't know.
What do you think about Buffalo losing 4 in a row?
It's sad. As Ross Perot was like, it's sad, I say. A sad state of affairs when Buffalo loses 4 in a row. It is. It's sad, and you hate to see it because, you know, they fight all year long just to get back there, to try and win it. They get there, and everything's going great. They lead at halftime by a touchdown. Things are going great, and all of a sudden, the third quarter, everything just falls apart, and then it's memories of a year ago. It's like deja vu, you know. And they'll be back, though. They're a strong team, and they'll be back. So don't count them out next year, unless of course, they're playing Dallas. You know, if it's Buffalo and Dallas in the Super Bowl next year, I'm probably not even going to watch if it's the same two teams next year. In fact, they'll probably see their lowest ratings ever if it's Buffalo and Dallas a third straight time. You know, people will get tired of that one real fast. You know, they'll look at the opening kickoff, say, Dallas is going to win, they'll turn the TV off. So, I don't think it'll be the same two teams next year though.
Maybe the Cowboys there.
What's that?
Maybe the Cowboys will be there.
Maybe the Cowboys. Probably not Buffalo though.
Yeah. This is probably their last good season.
Go Seahawks.
I want to go for the Cowboys, and I gotta go. So I'm gonna say one more thing for my favorite football team. I want to say, yeah, how about them Cowboys?
All right. Well, we got 15 minutes left. We might as well go an hour. Things are starting to pick up. The Super Bowl's over, and people want to call in and talk about it. So 397-5886. You know the number. What am I saying? If you've watched the show even once, you know I'd say the telephone number at least 12 times a minute when there's not a phone call. So, but I'll say it one more time. 397-5886 is the number to call to talk sports with Mark Johnson and Zeb Harrison. And we got about 13 minutes left. And a phone call. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I heard you have an aerial photo of Dana.
Next call. Get this guy off the air. What in the heck is going on here, guys? I'm telling you guys, I'm not putting up with this. You keep doing this, you're not getting on the air. You might get on the air for about 2 seconds, but if it's not sports related, they're going to pull you off there. You won't get on the air, so don't even call. You know, if you've got a sports related question or comment, Judy, our time life operator, will be happy to assist you. We have a phone call. Go ahead.
Do you think Michael Jordan should play baseball?
I think that whatever Michael Jordan wants to do with his life, he should be allowed to do. I mean, he's retired from basketball. He felt he had nothing more to prove in basketball, which he didn't. He won 3 straight championships. All-star, starter numerous times. I don't know, probably 7 years in a row. Won 7 scoring titles. I mean, he was on the Olympic team. Won a gold medal. He just had nothing left to prove in basketball. He's a very good athlete, and I think that if he is good enough to make the team, if he tries out, if they give him a tryout, and if he's good enough to make the team, if the coaches feel that he's good enough, I say go for it, you know. I did see he was at the Super Bowl today. So he's getting around. I know that a week ago Saturday, he was at the Phoenix Suns Portland Trailblazer game in Phoenix. I know this because my brother sat directly behind him and could have reached out and touched his head.
Awesome.
He was sitting right next to Bo Jackson, Michael was. And my brother said he could have reached out and shook Bo Jackson's hand as well. And I said, gee, you know, some guys have all the luck, you know. He said I could have reached out and massaged Jordan's head, but he said I didn't really want to do that, seeing as how
Not without getting beat up by security.
And now the severe beating of a Portland Trailblazers fan at a Phoenix Suns game. That would have been probably what happened, but no autographs because of the bodyguards. But you know, just to sit right behind this guy's got to be a thrill, you know. Especially if you're sitting there first, and Jordan comes walking up and sits down in front of you. It's like, hello, you know. And then later on, they bring Bo Jackson in. And I guess they had to bring in a separate chair for Bo because all the seats were filled in that area. But it must be nice. I wish I had that kind of a life, you know, sitting right behind guys like Jordan and Bo Jackson. But no, I think if Jordan wants to, I think he should go for it, you know. You know, it's like he said, he had nothing left to prove in basketball. And he actually had signed a contract with the White Sox a couple years ago to play baseball. I think if he's good enough, if he can, you know, if he's good enough to make the team, go for it. That's my feeling.
Do you think Drexler should be traded? He's like, he always gets hurt, and so I think they should trade him.
I don't know if he always gets hurt. I mean, the last couple of years he's been hurt, but I don't know. I think my personal feeling is let him play out his career at Portland. You know, let him finish here. I think you owe it. I think you owe him that much. If you're not going to get a championship while he's playing, you at least owe him the courtesy of letting him finish his career at Portland. He started here. Let him finish here. Jerome Kersey, on the other hand, you know, if, like I say, if the Blazer brass thinks that they can get something for him that somewhere down the line is going to pay dividends and eventually be better for the team, then yeah, maybe. But I think the key here with Drexler is, yes, he's been injured. He is damaged goods. If you're going to trade him, what are you going to get for him? Are you going to get somebody like Dudley in return because of the fact that Drexler's damaged goods? Or are you going to get somebody that's good? Are you going to be able to trade damaged goods for someone that's going to be better? My feeling is no, you're probably not.
I heard Olajuwon wanted to come to Portland.
Yeah, but
Well, if they trade Drexler for Olajuwon, they might get like a better player instead of like Dudley or.
But the thing is, why would Houston trade Olajuwon for Drexler? If Drexler's damaged goods, if he's been injured, and Olajuwon's playing as well as he is, and Houston's doing as good as they are, why would Houston make that trade? I really don't see Houston trading Olajuwon. I mean, that's their bread and butter, and he's happy there now. They gave him a new contract, and he's a happy man. And he's playing probably the best season of his NBA career. And I haven't heard anything to the rumors lately that he, as of lately, that he wants to come to Portland. I heard about the time that he got his new contract that after getting that contract that he was happy where he was and he decided to stay. So as far as Manning, I can't see us trading Drexler for Manning. I don't know who they want to trade to get Danny Manning, or if, I guess Danny Manning has expressed interest in coming here. Personally, it wouldn't bother me at all to see Manute Bol come to Portland. I mean, if you're going to get a center, it might as well be somebody as big as Bol. I mean, you figure with the Trailblazers really rigorous, training that they do. I mean, they do a lot of training. I think they could put some weight on that boy and beef him up. And if they could do something like that, if they could beef him up and make him look about as good as Sean Bradley, or even a little bit better than Bradley, because Bradley's lost a lot of weight, he could be a force. But, if he stays, legs about that big around,
it ain't gonna help.
It ain't gonna help. He's just gonna be another Sam Bowie like that. But I hear Miami has cut Manute Bol after he scored only 2 points this season. Obviously you wouldn't want him for a scorer anyway. With the long arms, you'd want him for a shot blocker, and he's proved he can block shots. So I don't know. With Dudley out of the lineup, you never know. Maybe Portland will sign him to a 10-day contract or something. I don't know. Couldn't hurt. At least you got a center that way. But anyway, any other questions?
Do you think Emmitt Smith should have got the MVP award?
I don't know. Who got it?
Emmitt Smith.
Did he? You have any idea what his final stats were in the game?
Well, he got like 100-some yards. On like two or three touchdowns, I think, and with 20 carries.
That sounds like MVP material to me. I think so. The way he almost single-handedly on Dallas's, it was their first offensive possession of the third quarter. That possession right there, after the defense had scored a touchdown to tie the game, he went more than 60 yards. Actually, probably more. It was about 60 yards. A little over 60 yards in about 5 or 6 plays, and scored a touchdown. I mean, single-handedly. I think so. I think he was deserving of it. I didn't see anybody else out there that was playing really any better than him. I mean, Michael Irvin caught a few passes and stuff, and Alvin Harper, I think, caught a few, but Emmett pretty much tore up Buffalo today, almost single-handedly in the third quarter. And that was really the turning point. That go-ahead touchdown was really, that's all they needed. When they were up 20-13, that's all they needed. They didn't. That extra 10 points that they got was just gravy. So, yeah, I think he was deserving of it.
Well, I gotta go.
All right, hey, thanks for calling.
Okay, bye.
We have time for one more phone call. We got about 3 or 4 minutes left. If anybody wants to call and give their thoughts on the Super Bowl today, and Blazer game is about ready to start in about 4 minutes. I plan on being down at the First Christian Church to watch that one. So,
pretty good calls coming in.
Yeah,
except for a couple.
There's been a couple, but we've been weeding them out pretty well tonight. A lot of credit there goes to Judy, our Time Life operator up there. She's done a fine job for us, and actually I've been kind of surprised after that 1 week where we got nothing but non-sports calls. I was kind of surprised to see her come back, really. I thought maybe that would scare her off, but she's tough. She's tough, and she's doing a heck of a job up there, and I commend her, and I thank her very much. Thank you. Thank you, Judy, our Time Life operator.
Yeah, that is a sports one.
We have a call. Last call of the night. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, we got a question for you.
Okay.
Why do they call Jimmy Johnson Three-Ring Jimmy?
Three-ring Jimmy? Probably because he's a circus leader.
No. What? Do you know who Jimmy Johnson is?
Yeah, he's the coach of the Dallas.
Why do they call him Three-Ring Jimmy? Come on, man.
Well, I know he's got 2 championship rings with Dallas.
And where did he come from?
I haven't done my homework on Jimmy Johnson. I'm trying to think. He was a college coach, wasn't he? Did he coach somewhere else in the NFL?
No, never in the NFL. College.
Okay. I want to say LSU.
Not.
I don't know. I have not done my homework on Jimmy. Give me a hint.
Oranges.
Florida? Obviously.
Close.
Florida State?
No. Miami. He won a
Miami.
national championship
Okay,
with Miami.
Okay. I've heard that before and I forgot it because, I didn't think about it.
So you like that Super Bowl or what?
It was a very good Super Bowl. It was a lot better than last year's.
Okay. How about another question?
Okay.
Who were the other 3 coaches that have won 2 Super Bowls? Back to back.
Back to back?
Who's that guy sitting next to you?
That's Zeb Harrison.
What's he do?
He's guest co-host.
Does he talk?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
One of the other coaches I would have to say would be Joe Walsh, San Francisco 49ers.
Yep.
Okay. There's 5 of them. And Tom Landry, Dallas Cowboys. Landry never did? Ooh. Give me a hint on that other one.
There's 4 more actually. You want them all?
Go ahead.
Shula.
Okay.
Lombardi.
Right.
Who was the other one? And Chuck Noll and Jimmy Johnson.
Okay.
Being tonight. Well, dude, great show.
All right, hey.
That other guy needs to talk more. Bring back that other guy that works down there at the gas station.
Who, Alex?
Oh, yeah, we loved him.
Really?
We want Alex back.
Really?
Yeah, we like him better than this guy.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. Give this guy a chance here.
He's more photogenic.
Alex is more photogenic. Do you know Alex Long?
Is more photogenic than Fred over there next to you, or whatever his name is. Jeb.
You want to come down and co-host?
Hell.
Why not? You know a lot about sports.
Yeah, he does. Yep. But no, I just like watching your show, dude.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too. All right, that's going to do it. It's 7:30. We've been here an hour, and that's going to wrap up another edition of Sports Wrap. I want to thank Zeb Harrison for coming on down here tonight, showing up a few minutes late, but he got here nonetheless, and sitting in for about 45 minutes. And I want to thank Lance and Luann and Jason Taylor for coming down, and I also want to thank Todd Hilton. Todd, you did a wonderful job up there, and I know you did a lot of running around tonight, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody that's helped on the show tonight. And we'll see you next week. Yes.
Good day.
Yeah.
All right. There's our response.
There you go.
Slam, dunk, boom, the bass pumps hard when it's made by Todd. So don't drop your gogs, we'll talk about sports over the phone at home. For you couch potatoes, wear it out foam. Let me get a Mark J and the K, giving you the play-by-play. On B-ball or any ball, you make the call. You're live on Channel 9, speak your mind, cause it's about time for the sports rap.